Hello, good morning. It is Saturday, the 15th of April, and as you can see, I'm not in my normal environment or setting because I'm in Sarajevo um, on a trip with a group of teachers to come and explore what happened here during the war in the 90s, what happened, what we can learn, and as teachers, how we help to teach and spread kind of messages around how we learn from history, learn from the past, and don't make the same mistakes again. Yeah, it's being here and being on this trip has just been such an enormous privilege, and it's almost actually not. It's not easy to talk about it. We're going today to Srebrenica, which is where there was a massacre of Bosniaks or uh, Muslim, mainly men, but also women and children. And I think that's going to be a really difficult day. And I suppose in some ways that's the bit of the trip that probably will bring the most learning. But having said that, being in Sarajevo has just been amazing. It is the most beautiful city. It's kind of it's very symbolic. Of a city that has kind of brought itself together. One of the biggest images I think is that you have this very small area, this kind of one street, really one area, a small area where you have a Catholic church, a Orthodox Christian church, a synagogue, and a mosque, all kind of within the same area. And the idea is that this symbolises, the coming together of religions and people after a time that was just unbelievably awful. Um, and yeah, just being here during Ramadan, just seeing this. I'm going to use the word cosmopolitan, but I don't know. That doesn't quite feel right. This place where people now live, sort of side by side, is just amazing. And the biggest thing for me is just walking through the city, which 30 years ago was under siege in the middle of a war. We have a guide here, Suban, who was 4 when the war broke out, and he's talked about his experiences, which has been amazing actually. And sort of a lot of people you meet here, though, they talk about it as well. And I think the biggest thing for me, being really interested in trauma and how we are in the world, is when things have happened to us, how do we then move on? How do we then ever settle? And I just get a sense in which there's a whole city of people here that probably don't settle. Um, it's just there's so much to think about in terms of ADHD. In terms of the person I normally am sitting here, I waffle on normally about my little problems to do with my job and to do with me. And I suppose doing something like this brings you out of yourself, which is always a good thing. I think I have become stuck in a rut. I've done a lot of thinking about, again, holidays always about reflecting, where do I want to go next? What do I want to be? I think I've had a bit of a revelation that actually I really want to get back to doing more around therapy and counselling, and possibly look at retraining or going back to training in that, because I just have this sense of, you know, whatever this is about, it's about people or a person who are dissatisfied. And I think at its heart, ADHD is about that, never satisfied, that kind of always on edge, always looking for the next thing, looking for the next thing to prove that I'm okay, that I fit in the world, that people aren't out to get me. And I think that we always have to be aware of that tendency, whether that's an ADHD tendency, whether that's come from a place of trauma, whether that's come from something else. But if we're living our lives to try and satisfy an internal individual need, which we are because we're all individuals, and what else is there for, if you don't think about it, I suppose, as animals, as beings, our biggest thing is to survive. But we're more than that. And so it's that thing of, well, why am I like I am? And is there a risk that what I'm doing is harming other people? Is there a risk that what I'm doing is for the wrong reasons? Is there a risk that what I'm doing is satisfy some internal need for love? So And I think on a bigger scale, that then becomes othering people and um, trying to justify yourself by justifying that other people are wrong or aren't you, or, and there lies the path to what happens in places, what happens in places of war, really long waffle, really not, you know, I think something I'm concerned about is there's so much kind of narcissistic kind of tendency in me to just reflect over and over and to get stuck in my head. And I think my um, antidote to that, is to have a job where I'm helping other people, where I want to change the world. And of course, it comes back to that thing of you can't change the world till you change yourself. And I think for me, it's that I'd really like to be something or somebody different. I'd like to not be this overthinker. I'd like to not be anxious all the time. But actually, I suppose it's about, well, at the moment, that's what I am. And I suppose it's about checking in on that and just constantly checking in and thinking, okay, you know, is there a sense in which I'm making a difference? I'm helping other people. Is there a sense in which I'm not doing harm? And therefore, is that kind of just good enough, really? And the last thing I think is this. I'm not going mad, by the way. There's bits of dust flying in the air. It's a beautiful day, the sun's shining. Is there a sense in which that coming back, I'm here with religious RE teachers, and this place is so, religion is such a major thing here, particularly now during Ramadan, where you're seeing, but that thing of needing to believe in something bigger, needing to believe that things can be better, um, is really important. And whether that's religion or whether that's just a belief in, um, there is in me, there's a power to make things better. That's really important. I think that's the only way to continue, is to believe that in me there's a power to make things better. But then not to die trying, because that's the other side of it. And I'm looking forward to going back, but I'm also, I can't I can't go back to where I was with the exhaustion and the pushing myself and the I've got to take things easier, but I don't quite know how. I don't quite know how. So that's that. That's it. Um, Still here, still a head teacher, still have ADHD. Just I love people. That's the thing. I've had such a buzz being with people. It's not that I don't love the people that I live with all the time, because I do. And coming away, you just kind of look back and go, my God, I really miss the people at home, because they're amazing. My family, my kids, my husband, my friends. Um, but yeah, I think I do a lot of. I think that my life has become quite sort of quiet, in the sense of we don't go out a lot, we don't socialize a lot, and I'm not sure what that's about. But actually, I'm a social being. Um, until I just get really tired, and then I'm not. Anyway, what a random waffle. I need to stop. I need to go and have breakfast. I need to go and get on with the day. But yeah, stay well, stay safe. If you're still listening, read Michael Rosen's book, Getting Better. I think he has a lot of answers, and it's brilliant. And I wrote a review of it, which I don't know, it doesn't matter. Okay, lots of love. Take care. Love is the answer. Always, love is the answer.